Hello, witches. I am High Priestess Autumn Phoenix. Thank you for joining me here live on this broadcast that I feel like needs a conversation between witches, because as a former Christian myself, I know that you may have, because you have told me that you've had this encounter with Christians when you tell them that you are a witch and not a believer of Christ. A witch would never say this. What is that? A witch would never say to you after they said, I'm a follower of Hecate, and the person says, well, I don't believe in Hecate, I don't follow Hecate. The witch would never say, oh, that breaks my heart. Have you ever told a Christian that you are a witch and not a follower of Jesus? And that Christian says, that breaks my heart. That makes me so sad. I feel so sad for you. I know that you have had Christians say that. That's weird. If that breaks your heart, you need to go get checked out by a doctor. You need to go to the emergency room. You need to talk to a therapist. You need to talk to a psychologist. That is weird. It breaks your heart that somebody does not believe what you believe, and then here you are sobbing, crying over it. Are you okay? That's weird. That's like me saying, well, I'm going to burst into tears and start crying uncontrollably because you don't like Frosted Flakes. You're crying because I don't like Frosted Flakes. You're crying and it's breaking your heart. Get away from me, you freak. That's my response. When I tell someone that I'm a witch and they happen to be a Christian, a Muslim, a Jew, or a Catholic, Catholicism is a weird section of Christianity. Catholics tend to worship statues and Mary and Joseph and eat off of empty plates and drink from empty glasses. So it's a weird section of Christianity, okay? Catholicism is a very weird section of Christianity. But when I hear that, when I hear a Christian says, it breaks my heart that you are not a follower of Christ, I give them a dirty look. I look at them like, bitch, what? Huh? What's that mean? What's that mean? I don't know what that means. Can you imagine a witch telling someone that their heart is broken because they are not a witch, they don't practice witchcraft, they are not a devotee of Hecate? They would drag me to the stake to be burned. They would drag me to the gallows to be hung. No trial, no defending myself, just automatic death. If you feel heartbroken over a witch who is not a follower of Jesus Christ, you need help. You are sick. You are suffering through severe mental illness, so much so that somebody's disbelief is causing you heart problems. Does that make sense in your world? If it does make sense, you don't have to worry about me anymore. I won't talk to you anymore if you're going to act like a freak. That's freakish behavior in a bad way. You know, there are good freaks, and then there are bad freaks. All right, we know this. All right, as witches, we know this. But I know I'm not the only witch that has been told by a Christian or anybody from the Abrahamic faith that their heart is broken because you don't follow Jesus. Or they say, well, you will find out after you die. That's a threat. Oh, yes, that's a threat. Did you know that's a threat? When a Christian says to you, oh, well, you will find out after you die. Anybody that threatens me will get a response. I'm in your face. I don't care how big or bad you think you are. Listen, I'm 5'3" and 128 pounds. I'm small. I don't care. I'm in your face if you threaten me. Telling a witch you will find out after you die is a threat. Take it seriously, witches. Get in the person's face. No matter how big they are. I don't care if you're a 400-pound bitch. You can be a big bitch. I'm in your face. I'm in your face. What's up? You have to take those type of passive-aggressive threats seriously. There can't be no more love and light witches. Because the world is not playing fair when it comes to witches. The world hates witches. It's not the Christians who cry prosecution and how things are so unfair with them. When they don't get their way, they cry and piss their panties, piss their drawers. Oh, woe is me. Feel sorry for me. Show me pity. Give me what I want. Even though it will make the other party even more smaller, even more disrespected. We know that Christians play the victim. We know that Christians play the victim all the time, every day when they don't get their way. But when a Christian says you have broken their heart because you don't want to go to church with them, you don't want to join their congregation, you don't want to sow into their ministry, and they, why not? My heart is broken. You have hurt my feelings. Bitch, move, bitch. Move. Get the fuck away from me. Move, bitch. Before you piss me off. That's my reaction. I don't want to hear how your heart is broken. Fuck you and fuck your heart too. Alright? Why do I have to be uncomfortable to make you comfortable? I don't. And I'm not going to, because witches don't owe anybody anything. Write that down in the comments. Witches do not owe anybody anything. It's bad enough that when witches bring up witchcraft, you have these Christians saying, oh, the children. What about the children? Please think about the children. And the whole time they're saying that, they have their own child sitting in a bathtub of dirty water. I see it in the spirit. I got that spirit in me. As witches, you have that spirit in you to see into other people's homes. You do. You do. You may not like what you see, but you do. 100% of the time, when witches write derogatory comments and articles about witches, their child is currently in a bathtub full of dirty water waiting to come out. Their child is saying, Mommy, I'm ready to come out. And the water is as black as night. So maybe you should worry about your dirty ass kids, raggedy ass kids, poor, break, nappy, unkept kids instead of worrying about what a witch is doing in the privacy of their own home. Maybe you should do that. Maybe you should do that. But to me, it's funny. And they say, why are you laughing? It's not funny. I'm worried about your soul. I'm worried about where you're going in the afterlife. Why are you worried about that? Why is that your business? How does that bother your day? It doesn't. It's just you being nosy. You not minding your own business because you can't find no business to mind. So you have to be all up in my booty. That's the truth. Get your head out of my booty hole. Get your head out of my booty hole. I don't want you there. It's all about invading people's privacy. It's all about having somebody feel bad for you or show you sympathy or empathy or pity or mercy that you are undeserving of. I'm not giving you shit. I'm not giving you shit. Fuck you. You know, this is how I am. I'm me. What you see, when it comes to me, what you see is actually what you get. It actually is. It actually is. I'm like this in real life. I am. I am this blunt, sometimes to the point of being cruel, but I'm honest. And I tell it like it is. I tell it like it is. I've never heard a witch, and I know for a fact I will never hear a witch say, that breaks my heart, when somebody tells them that they are not a witch. Like, what does that even mean? What does that mean? It breaks my heart that you are not a follower of Christ. What does that mean? Doesn't mean anything. It's a manipulative tactic to try to change your belief, try to change your mind, try to come over to their side. And then they start with the Bible verses, why witchcraft is evil, even though they have never spoken to a witch. You can't determine that witchcraft is evil if you have never spoken to a witch. And then when you tell Christians that, they say, well, I don't want to be in the presence of a witch because I don't want their energy to rub off on me. Well, fuck you then. We don't have to talk. But you can't talk about what you are not. If you're not a witch, you can't speak on witches because then you just sound retarded. That's not a mean word, by the way. It's the truth. Look, if something is retarded, it's retarded. Don't get offended by that word. Okay? There is a difference between being retarded and having Down syndrome. I'm talking about retards, not people who are born with Down syndrome. Be able to differentiate between the two. It's retarded. It's retarded. It is. It absolutely is. You don't want to talk to a witch because you don't want to be in the presence of a witch because you don't want their evil energy to rub off on you. If that's the case, your faith in Christ must not be that strong. It must not be. You mean to tell me that Jesus cannot protect you from my energy by simply having a conversation with a real life witch? Then your faith is not that strong. It's not that strong. It's not that strong. And of course, you have all these stereotypes about witches, how we fly on brooms, how we eat children. Witches don't want your kids. You don't even want your kids. Why would a witch want your child? You know, the craziest thing I ever heard about witches and children is that what was that? I can't even talk. That Planned Parenthood gives witches aborted children to eat. That's the craziest thing I ever heard about witches. Witches do not eat children. You can't even see your kids unless it is visiting day. You don't even have custody of your children. So what the fuck are you talking about? Oops. That's a word for somebody right there. Get custody of your kids before you say shit about witches eating children. How about you focus on that? You don't even have custody of your children and you're worried about them being eaten by witches? Bitch, if you don't get the fuck out my face, for real. If you don't get the fuck out my face, that dumbass shit, that's stupid. That is so retarded. It is. It is. That rumor was started that witches eat children to explain away why their children is missing. Hell, maybe your child ran away. Hell, if I had you for a parent, I would run away too. The hell? Maybe your child was attacked by an animal and dragged off and eaten. The hell? But they blame witches because witches were treated like vermin many years ago. A lot of witches who live in Africa are burned alive even today. But I don't, you know, they get Christians get angry when you laugh at them after they have said, "You have broken my heart," or "That breaks my heart that you don't follow Jesus." Can you imagine if a witch said that? Okay, so listen. I'm a witch. You're not a witch. And you tell me you don't follow witches, witchcraft, or hikate, and I say, that breaks my heart. Wouldn't you think that I'm some type of moron for saying that? You would be thinking, how is my disbelief breaking your heart? You might want to go to the doctor and get that fixed. That's true. That's true. That's what every witch would be thinking. Maybe you need to go to the doctor and get that fixed. Maybe you need to talk to somebody. Maybe you need to be put on medication. Maybe you need to be sent to a G building for a couple of weeks to get that straightened out, because that doesn't make any sense. That's insanity to me. How a total stranger is heartbroken because a witch does not follow Jesus Christ. You know? I mean, we have all probably had the Jehovah Witness come to our house, and you don't open the door, but you say at the door, "I'm not interested." And then the Jehovah Witness says, "Well, I'll just leave my pamphlet here." And then you open the door and tell them, "No. Don't leave any pamphlet here. Get away from my door." And then they rush you trying to talk to you about Jesus. Bitch, I just told you I don't want to talk to you, and I don't want your pamphlet. Get away from my door. Then they say, "Oh, well, you know, we're just trying to spread the gospel." I'm going to hit you if you don't move. I'm going to hit you. I don't like that shit. If I tell you to leave, I mean to also take your pamphlet with you. Don't leave your pamphlet. I'm not intending to call you or email you or write you a letter. What the fuck is wrong with you, bitch? Don't leave your pamphlet here. That's disrespectful. And you're loitering. How are you loitering? Because you're leaving your information here, in which I can legally turn over to the police. I can go to the police, told them that these people came here, they left this pamphlet here, here is their address, I want them arrested and I want them charged for trespassing. I told them I don't want a pamphlet here. They chose to leave a pamphlet here anyway. I want charges brought against them for trespassing. These Jehovah's Witnesses have to learn. You have to hit them where it hurts. Their money, in their pocket, in their wallet, in their purse. That's the only way to make them stop. They will take you off their address and not come back to your house again. They don't realize that when you tell them not to leave their pamphlet there and they leave their pamphlet there, they are leaving their address for the police to come and arrest them for trespassing. Press charges against these Christian nationalists. Don't just let it go. How many times are you going to let it go? How many times are you going to let it go and be the peacemaker? Not take it seriously. Not blow it out of proportion. Sometimes you do have to blow it out of proportion. You do. It's the only way they're going to learn. They will say, oh, we can't go to that house. They have a lawsuit against us. They will run away, fall away from your house. Don't keep letting these people bully you. That's why I say being a witch is not for the weak. You would never hear a witch say, it breaks my heart that you are not a witch. It breaks my heart that you are not a devotee of Hecate. It breaks my heart that you do not do witchcraft. You would never hear a witch say either of those things, because all of those things are stupid. All of those things should be evaluated by a doctor. You need a doctor. You need a doctor. You don't need Christ. You need to go to the emergency room if your heart is breaking because a witch does not believe in Jesus Christ. Are you fucking serious, bitch? The fuck is wrong with you? And I say it just like this. I don't hold back. I don't bite my tongue for nobody. I don't hold my tongue for nobody. If you say some fucked up shit to me, you are going to get a fucked up response from me. I'm not polite. I'm not gentle. I am rough around the edges. I'm a New Yorker. I'm a Scorpio. And I'm not going to sit there or stand there looking stupid while you talk shit. I'm going to ask you calmly to explain yourself. And if you start saying, oh, well, you know, I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, you're going to get a strong reaction out of me. You are. And I don't want to hear, I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. You're just mad that you got called out. You see, when you call out Christians on their shit, they will either apologize or block you. Two of those things are going to happen. And they both has happened to me. Because when you ask them to explain why witches are going to hell for being witches, or why witches do witchcraft, they have nothing to say. Nothing sensible. They only say what's in the Bible about witches, which is a crock of shit, as we know. Right, witches? Right. I know I'm right. You know I'm right. I said this before. You can say whatever you want about witchcraft. You can say whatever you want about witchcraft. But when you disrespect the witch, the person who practices witchcraft, that's when we're going to fight. You can't disrespect the person. You can disrespect the belief and the practice, but not the witch, him or herself. You can't. Because you're going to get a strong response. That's why. Rightfully so. I'm not one of those witches that is going to sit back and listen to you talk shit to me or about me. I am going to respond. I am. I don't know who you think you are. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care what family you're from. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I don't. Why the fuck would I care about that shit for? That shit doesn't mean anything to me at all. I'm going to defend myself. I am going to defend myself. That's why I also tell witches to make sure they have some type of self-defense on them when they go out in public. I don't care what it is. Pepper spray, taser, gun. Have something on you, or at least be able to fist fight, at least be able to swing and to duck and to weave, at least be able to fist fight if you don't want to carry pepper spray, a taser, a gun, or a knife on you. You have to protect yourself, especially if you're like me and you wear your pentacle in public. Yeah, you're probably going to come across someone who doesn't like that and try to pick a fight with you. And if you can't fist fight, you need to pull out something else to get that person away or off of you. And you have to actually use it. You actually have to pull the trigger. That's a word right there for somebody who is getting beat up because they are wearing their pentagram in public. You can't carry something for self-defense and not use it. Use it. Why? Because as a witch, your life is worth millions. The perpetrator's life is worth zero. We know that life is not sacred. We know that life is not precious. We know that every life is not worth saving. We know as witches, some people do not deserve to be alive. Am I right? Have you ever heard a high priestess like myself tell it like this? This raw, this honest, this sincere? Probably not. But that's the truth. That is the truth. The life of a witch is worth millions. Everybody else is worth a couple of pounds of silver because they are not witches, because they are not like us. No, I'm not hyping up witches. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. Learn some self-defense. At least learn how to take a punch and then be able to get back up from that punch to continue to fight. Learn how to shoot a gun. Learn how. Did you know you have to know how to use a knife? You can't just start stabbing somebody anywhere on the body. Do you know you need to learn how to use a taser? You need to know how to use pepper spray? Yes, you do. You can't just be shooting blindly. You can't just be swinging your fist blindly. You can't just be using your pepper spray blindly. You can't be using your taser blindly. You have to know where on the body to use it on the perpetrator to get them away or off of you. You know, if you shoot somebody in the foot, that's probably not going to do much. So where you probably shoot them in the head. That's why I say, if you are a witch and you have something for self-defense, you also have to be prepared to use it. Don't just pull it out to hopefully scare the person or persons away. Okay, so you pulled out a gun. Are you going to use it? That may not scare the person. They can still come towards you, even though you have a loaded gun with the safety off. Yes. You think that pulling out a gun would scare somebody away. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you have to fire. You don't carry a self-defense item unless you plan to use that item. And with the understanding that this person's life might end. Witches are more targeted than anybody else on the face of this planet. Nobody is more targeted than witches on the face of this planet. The Christians can cry and piss their panties about being prosecuted. They're lying. They're lying. The same goes for Muslims and Jews. People of the Abrahamic faith. It's witches that have the biggest targets on their backs. You and I. You have to learn to protect yourself. And be willing to protect yourself. Why are you letting somebody punch you in the face? And you have a gun on you. Imagine somebody punching you in the face and you have a gun on you. Why aren't you using a gun? Use it. Because not all life is sacred. That's a lie. Who told you that? Who told you that life is precious? And that every life is worthy of saving? We know as witches that is not true. We know that. That's not cold. That's not cruel. That's not evil to say. It's the truth. It is the truth. But witches don't have a victim mentality. A witch would never say, it breaks my heart that you are not a witch. Because that's weird. You are a freak if you say that. You are. A retarded freak, but still a freak. I don't know, take it. Take it as I'm telling you, because it's the truth. It is the truth. Witches have got to protect themselves. All the time. All the time. Like, when it comes to me, I don't let people walk up on me. You need to back away, or I'm going to put you down. And you don't want me to put you down. I'm the wrong person to put you down. And remember, I'm only 5'3". I'm small. Okay, I'm tiny. But I will put you down. All right? It'll be worse than a dog being put to sleep. So I don't let people approach me. You have to keep your distance. But don't walk up on me like you want to get it popping. Because I'm going to pop my foot up in your ass. That's why. That's why. How that concrete tastes? How does that floor taste? How many teeth did you just pick up from out of your mouth? The life of a witch is worth millions. The life of a witch is worth millions. Protect yourselves, witches. Protect yourselves. Don't fall for that manipulative tactic of people pretending to care about your soul. Oh, my concern is your soul. I care about your soul. I just want to see you in heaven. I don't want to see you no more, bitch. I don't fucking like you. If I don't like your ass now, why the fuck would I like you in the afterlife? Fuck you, bitch. I don't fucking like your ass right now. Don't do that shit with me. What the fuck is wrong with you? Talking about I want to see you in heaven. I don't want to see you now. What would change? If you don't like me now, why would anything change after death? Nothing would. Nothing would. Not one thing would change. It's weird. It's weird. So I don't respond well to that comment of, you just broke my heart because you are not a follower of Jesus. I don't know what to tell you. There's no way to respond to that. There is no way to respond to that but with a look like, bitch, what the fuck is you talking about? And then they say, excuse me, did I stutter? You heard me. I said, bitch, what are you talking about? Oh, well, like I just said, I want to see you in heaven. I don't want to see you now. I don't like you. You know I don't like you. Oh, well, when we both get to heaven, everything would change. We would be friends. No, we're not going to be friends in heaven. I don't like you. Are you stupid, bitch? And I have such a short temper with people like that. I have to respond. You know, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. You know, I am a Scorpio and I'm famous for having a short temper and lashing out at people who come for me constantly and don't relent until I send a bloodhound in the name of Hecate to their stoop, and they are being hounded by a hellhound. Yes. Yes. Why? Because Hecate protects her own. Hecate protects her own. So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. No witch wants to hear that. Oh, I want to see you in heaven. But you don't like me now. Why? Nothing would change. Nothing would change. You would still be a bitch. And a whore. Once a whore, always a whore. So don't play that game with me. Don't play that game with witches by using that manipulative tactic of I want to see you in heaven. Or this other manipulative tactic of, well, it's better to believe in Jesus than to be wrong when you die. I know you've heard that before too. A Christian says to you, well, it's better to believe in Jesus and be wrong than to not believe in Jesus and find out that me, the Christian, was correct. Then you telling me that stupidity has no price to pay. Stupidity always has a price to pay. So that means what they're saying is, I want you to follow Jesus. Even if it turns out I'm wrong about Jesus at the end of the world. Even if I'm wrong. I have nothing to lose. That's what Christians say, right? Right. That's exactly what they say. And then the witch's response is, well, what if I'm right? And you're reincarnated as a piece of human garbage. Because right now, what you just said to me is what human garbage would say. And you need to be taken out to the curb and dumped somewhere. That's what the witch who is firm in their belief, firm in their abilities, firm in their magical abilities, firm in their spirituality would say. Just that blunt. Just that blunt. And not feel bad about it. Why would I feel bad about it? You know, if somebody is offering you salvation and they get mad if you reject it, what is the witch supposed to do? If a witch says no, no is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. As witches, we know that no is also a protection spell. No means I have given enough. No means get the fuck away from me. Just that's blunt. In my world, when I say no and you keep pushing me, that's when I'm probably going to throw something at you. Get out of my fucking face, bitch. Why the fuck you in my face? Do you not understand that no is literally a complete sentence? Because it is. It literally is a complete sentence. A powerful spell for no is no with no explanation. You don't explain why you said no. You don't owe anybody a explanation. Who is that person? Fuck that bitch. That's what a lot of witches have to start saying about certain people. Fuck that bitch. Start saying it. Start saying it. Start saying fuck that bitch. And don't feel bad about it. Don't. Why are you feeling bad about it? They said fuck you when they said bless you or Jesus loves you anyway. That's their translation of saying fuck you. When a Christian says to me, after I have told them I'm not a Christian, they say bless you. That's the Christian way of saying fuck you. So when a Christian says bless you to me, I say fuck you too, bitch. You know, if you have something to say, come out and say it. Come out and say to me, fuck you. Don't say bless me. Don't be passive aggressive. Say what you mean. Because I can see in your heart, I can discern exactly what you mean. You're just being passive aggressive. No, say what you mean. That's exactly what I say. Oh, yes. Last year, I had a Christian come up to me in the train station on the platform trying to hand me a pamphlet to learn about the gospel. And I told her I wasn't interested. And she said, well, God bless you. And I said, fuck you too. That's exactly what I said. You want to be disrespectful? Then let's be disrespectful. They're not saying God bless you because they want God to bless you. That's their way of saying fuck you. And you have to tell them exactly what you mean by responding with actually saying fuck you. Or I say fuck you too, bitch. I tell it like it is. I tell it like it is. They're not blessing you. They are not blessing you. They're not. Can't you see that, witches? Don't say thank you when they say bless you. Say fuck you too. Because that's what they're saying to you. They're just being passive aggressive. They're being a smart ass. Okay? And that's what I do. Because I can read between the lines. That's why. You know, witches are good at hearing what people don't say. I know exactly what you mean when you're talking to me. I hear a lot more of what you don't say. I may not say anything right there and then, but I know. I know. I know. And I'm not going to let you get away with it. I'm not going to think you got one over on me. I'm not going to let you think that I'm stupid, that I don't know what you really mean. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. And I'm going to tell it right back to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to be polite and kind and respectful and graceful. I'm not going to do that. I'm not fake. I'm not phony. I don't kiss nobody's ass. I don't brown nose anybody. I don't pretend to be people's friend. I don't do that stuff. I don't. I really don't. I can't. I can't be fake and phony and be smiling in people's faces who I fucking hate. I cannot. And I will not. You see, when you ask a witch who is also a Scorpio for the truth, you are going to get the truth. It may not be what you want to hear, but you're going to get the truth. You would never hear a witch say, my heart breaks because you are not a follower of Hecate. My heart breaks because you don't do witchcraft. You would never hear a witch say that, because a witch doesn't care what you do behind closed doors. Witches don't care about what you do behind closed doors. We don't give a shit. But witches have a big problem with people who try to make laws about what people can do behind closed doors, what they should be doing behind closed doors. And when they get pushed back, then they claim to be prosecuted. Nobody's prosecuting you. You just can't get your way all the time. You don't see witches protesting abortion clinics. You don't see witches protesting at places to register to vote. You don't see that, because those are personal matters, and witches are not nosy. That's why people of the Abrahamic faith, Christians, Muslims, and Jews, and Catholics, are nosy, but not the witch. Not pagans. Not pagans. Witches truly believe that we should live and let live, as long as it does not hurt anybody else. But people try to force their way into other people's lives like rape. It's rape. You try to force things on people. It feels like rape. That might be a hard word for some witches to hear, but that's the truth. It's economically rape. It is. Trying to force things on people that don't want it. Not everybody wants Jesus. Not everybody cares about Jesus. Not everybody loves Jesus. Not everybody loves Muhammad. Not everybody loves Allah. Oh yes, I'm talking about Muslims too. It's not just Christians that I criticize. It's Muslims, people of the Abrahamic faith. Muslims, Christians, and Jews. Not everybody wants those things. You can't force it on people. You can't. If I don't like pumpkin pie, you can't put pumpkin pie on my plate, because I'm going to throw it in the garbage in front of you. Like, bitch, I don't want this shit. Get the fuck away from me before I fuck your ass up. I told you I don't want pumpkin pie. Why are you giving me pumpkin pie? Oh, well, I want you to respect my beliefs about you should be eating pumpkin pie. I'm going to shove it up your ass. Okay, thank you. Don't play with me, bitch. I don't want your pumpkin pie. You see, witches are big on privacy. Witches are big on minding their own business or finding some business to mind and not worrying what everybody else is doing. Because witches simply don't care what other people are doing. Because other people's business is not the business of the witch. That's why. If more people focus on their own lives instead of the lives of witches, we wouldn't have all these problems in the world. Because every time something happens, it's the witch's fault. Like, for instance, we have a eclipse coming up. I believe it's a solar eclipse. You know, when the moon is, when you have to wear those special glasses to see the eclipse. We have an eclipse on April 8th that will be seen almost everywhere in the world. And I've heard the stereotypes about the eclipse. There is an eclipse coming on April 8th, and there are already conspiracy theories about that eclipse. Yes, let me say this. Let me say a little bit about the eclipse on April 8th. Eclipses, lunar and solar eclipses, always brings big change to follow. Always. Eclipses brings big change. May it be a lunar or a solar eclipse. Eclipses always bring change. And the eclipse coming on April 8th will be no different. I believe the eclipse in April 8th will last 4 minutes. That's the longest it's been in a long, long time. But then people try to associate it with it being this big supernatural event. It is a big supernatural event, but it's not the end of the world. In spirituality, we know that eclipses, solar and lunar eclipses, follows big change. Always. There's big change before and after the eclipse on April 8th. I just wanted to mention that a little bit because I hear a lot of information that's false about eclipses, that eclipses are mentioned in the Bible. Yeah, eclipses are actually mentioned in the Bible, but it signifies the return of Christ. But that's not what this is. It's an eclipse. It's not weird or strange to have an eclipse. It's a little strange, though, I will say, to have an eclipse that lasts for 4 minutes. That's very long for a solar eclipse, I believe. But eclipses always brings big change, shocking change. You see, the full moon is about exposure, completions. The new moon is about new things coming to fruition. But eclipses brings big, dramatic, and shocking surprises the days afterwards. I just wanted to mention that about this eclipse coming on April 8th. It will be, I'm not sure what's going to happen. But I know, and you know also, that eclipses always bring big change. Always. And yes, it is supernatural. It is. But it's not what Christians are saying, that it's the end of the world, or there's going to be a solar storm, or the cell phones are going to go down again, or social media is going to go down again. Don't listen to that. Eclipses are completely natural. They happen every year. Every year, an eclipse brings big, dramatic, and shocking changes on every area. Politics, the economy, people, animals, nature, the environment, everything. If you want to know how the eclipse is going to affect you, take out your birth chart and look at it. You may have to pay somebody to do it for you, but you can't do it for yourself. There are many websites and YouTube videos to help you discover how to create your own birth chart. But it's not going to be anything like those of the Abrahamic faith has proclaimed or declared or decreed, which is just a crock of shit. All right, let me just put that out there about the eclipse coming on April 8th. It's nothing to get scared or worried about, or pulling your hair out, or going out to buy toilet paper, going out to stock up on food, stock up on ammunition. There's no reason for any of that. All right? It's an eclipse. It affects the whole world. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It affects the area in which the eclipse will be seen at, because the eclipse can't be seen everywhere in the world, right? I know for a fact that the eclipse is going to be viewable here in New York, in New Jersey, in Maine, in Connecticut, and New Hampshire. I believe all the way down to some of the states down south too. I know you probably heard of the Appalachian Mountains. I can't even say that word. Oh my God, I can't even say that word. The Appalachian. I have to learn how to pronounce that word. But I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The Appalachian Mountains. It goes up that way. They start from Georgia and Maine. I don't think people realize how large those mountains are, and they're supposedly haunted by various Native American tribes. That's a different broadcast for another day. But, of course, the eclipse on April 8th will be big, dramatic, and shocking. That's what all eclipses always brings. But if you really want to know how it's going to affect you personally, you need to pull out your birth chart and see where the eclipse will be passing in your birth chart, to know how you should respond to the eclipse. So I just wanted to talk about the eclipse a little bit, because it's coming so soon. It's coming on April 8th. It is coming April 8th. I don't have those glasses. That's those special glasses you need to look at the eclipse. I don't have those. I don't know where do you even get those glasses from? Amazon, eBay, Etsy, NASA, the Space Museum. I don't even know where you're gonna get those glasses at. I should probably call 311 for information. Maybe they know. I don't know where to get those glasses at. But I want to see the eclipse. I've never seen the eclipse before. I've seen the eclipse when the moon is red, but I've never seen the eclipse where you need those glasses to see it. I've never seen that because I never had the glasses. That's why. But I'm going to find out. I'm going to get the glasses and I'm going to see it. Hopefully it's not cloudy, that thing. Because if it's cloudy, you can't see shit. It's still going to happen. You just won't be able to see it because it's cloudy. We know that eclipses make our pets act a little strange. So be aware of your pets when the eclipse comes, because your pets might act differently towards you because they don't know what's going on. But I want to see the eclipse. I've never seen it before, and like I said, it's supposed to be 4 minutes long. That's very long for an eclipse to last. The eclipse, when the moon is red, happens like around 1 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not up at that time, so I have to set my alarm when that eclipse comes, because the eclipse that comes during the daylight hours, you need glasses for. You need those special glasses, or you might go blind. That's why, because you can't look directly at the sun. And those cheap ass glasses from the 99-cent store is not gonna help you. All right. It's not. It's not. I know you pay $1.99 for those sunglasses at the Dollar Tree store or CVS, but you can't wear them while looking at the eclipse. It's not gonna help. All right. It's gonna make a bad situation already worse. Hell, you might burn your eyes out. So you can't do that. All right. So you need like specially crafted glasses to look at the eclipse on April 8th. And I will get those glasses. I will find out where to get them. I will find out where in New York I can see the eclipse. And I would check to make sure that it's not cloudy that day. Because if it's cloudy that day or if it's raining, you can't see nothing. And it would just be like the sky got dark. But then you probably won't be able to tell if it's the eclipse that made the sky dark or it's just dark because it's raining and stormy outside. We know that April showers brings May flowers. It rains a lot in April. Okay? It rains a lot in April. So since the eclipse is taking place in April, there is a high possibility that it may be raining that day when the eclipse takes place. And you may not be able to see anything because it's cloudy and raining. And I can't get my hair wet. So I'm not going in the rain. And I have a fucked up umbrella. I do, okay? My umbrella, I need to be careful with that umbrella because it doesn't have a whole lot of life left. Okay? Listen, I paid $20 for that fucking umbrella, okay? But it's starting to die. Right? It's starting to die on me. So I have to be careful with that umbrella. I do. But I'm not paying no $40 for no umbrella. You must be fucking stupid. Look, I'm not buying it. I'm not paying $40 for an umbrella. What kind of fucking rain is that falling from the sky? The fuck is that shit? I'm buying that shit. Do I look stupid to you? No. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. The fuck? So I'm excited about the eclipse. I am excited to have it happen. May or may not see it. Hope maybe I can get the glasses for free and save my money. Because I don't want to buy glasses to see the eclipse and you can't see it because it's cloudy or raining outside. Because like I just said, April showers brings May flowers. It rains a lot in April. It does. So there is a high possibility that you may not be able to see the eclipse because it's cloudy or it's raining. And I don't want to feel like I pissed my money away. Because you know the price of those glasses are probably going to be pretty high because people want to see the eclipse. So I'm going to check the weather. But we know that the weather can change, especially in a place like New York. The weather here in New York can change drastically with no warning. All right? It can. If you live in New York, you know that the weather here can change dramatically with no warning. So that's why a lot of people here in New York carry a small umbrella because you just never know when it's going to rain. And I can't get my hair wet. This is 4C here. Okay? This is 4C here. Black people's here, okay? I can't get this wet. Are you fucking kidding me? I cannot get this wet. It takes too long to do over again. It takes me 2 hours to do it. No. I don't like the rain. I don't like the rain because I don't want to get my hair wet. That's why. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to get your hair or your wig or your weave wet. It's on your head, right? Right. And you want to look good, right? Right. You can't look good if your hair looks like a dog's booty. All right? So I'm excited about seeing the eclipse. I'm excited to see what's going to follow in the days afterwards. I am. So that's just what I wanted to come on here and talk about. What a witch would never say, which is, oh, it breaks my heart that you are not a follower of Hikate, like the Christians do when you tell them that you are not a witch. These Christians say, well, it breaks my heart that you are not a follower of Jesus. If it breaks your heart, you need to go see a doctor. You need to be on medication. You need a therapist. Because you're just a dumbass. Okay? That's what you are. Period. That's exactly what you are. That's exactly what you are. You need professional help. Talking about it breaks my heart that you don't believe in Jesus. What do you mean it breaks your heart? Why does it break your heart? Why does it bother you so much about what I believe in and what I don't believe in? How is that any of your business? How does that bother your day? It does not bother your day. You're just talking out of your ass. You're just talking and saying that to get some type of pity and mercy and grace and sympathy and empathy from me, and I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not going to kiss your ass. I'm not. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you think you are. You get nothing from me. You deserve nothing from me. I don't owe you anything. Who are you? No, I'm seriously asking. Who are you? I don't owe you shit. Get the fuck out my face. On some real shit. Stupid bitch. That's my response to people like that. That's my response. I shut it down immediately. I don't allow myself to be manipulated or feel bad about my answer or feel like I should change my answer. I don't do that shit. I don't. When I say something, I mean it. I'm not fucking around. I mean what I say. I'm sincere and honest. I'm not going to say something just to keep you happy. I'm not going to blow smoke up your booty hole. I'm not going to blow smoke up your booty hole. I'm not. You're allowed to fart. But that smoke is not going to come from me. I'm not going to blow smoke up your booty hole. I'm not. I'd rather die than do that. I'd rather die than do that. I'm not. You're not that special. You're not special at all. There's nothing special about you. You need a therapist. You need some medication. Maybe you need a nap. But I'm not going to appease you, to make you happy, to put a smile on your face. I don't do that fake ass shit. I don't brown nose people. I don't hype people up that don't deserve to be hyped up. I don't. You need to go find somebody who is easily manipulative. Easily manipulated. But you won't find that in a witch. You cannot manipulate a witch. You can manipulate everybody else who doesn't have any sense at all. They don't even know how to go get any sense. They are constantly stuck on stupid. But you can't manipulate a witch. You cannot manipulate a witch, because I will call you out on it every time. And then you are going to be the one clenching your pearls, saying, "Excuse me, ma'am," or "I beg your pardon." Don't say that to me. You heard me. You were just surprised and shocked and offended that I said it. I don't give a fuck about you, bitch. Talking about some damn excuse me and I beg your pardon. Bitch, you heard what the fuck I said. Fuck you. That's how you have to talk to people. That's not disrespectful. That's having a backbone. That's a witch who is not a spineless jellyfish. I am not a spineless jellyfish. I'm not. I can't be that way. I can't. I have a backbone. And I'm going to stand up for myself. And I need you witches to stand up for yourselves also. I need you witches to use the power of your tongue. Use the power of your words to speak. To speak. Even if somebody is offended or feels disrespected, I don't give a fuck. I don't. There are only certain people that I care about. Everybody else, if you're not a witch, I probably won't be able to relate to you. That's not my problem. Become a witch. Become a witch. But don't use manipulative tactics of, it just breaks my heart. That makes me so sad. Bitch, fuck you. Okay? How about that? Get the hell away from me with that shit before you piss me off. I have such a short temper, I have to say something. That's why. I have such a short temper, I have to say something. I don't let people say and do shit and then go on their merry way. I got her, I got him. You didn't get shit. All you got was put on my shit list. You don't want to be on the shit list of a witch. You don't. So be aware of how you treat witches, because we're not all forgiving. We're not all love and light. I'm certainly not, and I have no problem admitting that. I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't. So that's all I wanted to say this evening. I know I've been in here for like over an hour, but what I said tonight needed to be said. So thank you, witches, for jumping on this live, or if you're watching a replay, be sure to share this broadcast in your stories or your other social media platforms. Tell your followers that there is a high priestess here in New York who is anointed and appointed by the Queen of Witches, Hecate, to be a voice for witches to hear and for witches who have hands to receive Hecate's best. And with that, I release you into your evening. Goodbye, everyone.